This is the one lead generation strategy you need in 2024. The top lead generation strategy in 2024 is going to focus on personalization of the content that you create in your lead magnets and in your marketing strategies. If you're anything like me, you remember years ago when personalization meant using the person's first name in your marketing, or maybe referencing the company that they work for or that they own. Well, that doesn't really work anymore. We're looking for deeper levels of personalization. And there are three real big areas that we can focus on when we're looking to personalize things for our prospects. The first thing that I want you to consider is the behaviors of your market, the behaviors of your leads, of your prospects, and ultimately the behaviors of your clients. Where are they spending time online? What sort of things are they reading? What conferences are they going to? What podcasts do they listen to? What YouTube channels do they visit? You're speaking to them in familiar terms, and you're coming to them on the same playing field so that it feels familiar and comfortable for them. Because if they feel any level of discomfort in the way that you're approaching them, they're going to head for the hills. So let's work to understand the behaviors of our audience. We also must understand the biggest challenges that our audience is facing. Now, don't make the mistake that so many people make where they just approach their audience and say, what's the biggest challenge you're facing right now? When you just blindly approach your audience and say, what big challenge are you facing right now? They interpret that as, oh, well, if I'm going to tell them my biggest challenge, they're going to turn that into a sales pitch. It just doesn't work anymore. So you've got to do your research. Heck, there's enough data out there right now where if you spend just a little bit of time, you'll be able to figure out what the biggest challenges your audience face right now. In fact, when I do the research on my audience, which are generally entrepreneurs, people who own businesses, who want to attract more leads and clients into their business using social media, I find that a couple of things come up to the surface. First, they struggle to figure out what the very first step to take is. So I address that in all of my marketing material. They also feel like they have a tremendous amount of untapped potential. So we look to unearth that potential and bring it to their market so that they can get more clients and have more people to serve. And then they also say things like they've tried a lot of things, but nothing's really worked out. So we focus scientifically on the things that work best for them. And if that sounds like something that's intriguing to you and you'd like to brainstorm with me about how you can get more clients from the internet, I'm going to put my calendar link right here. Just jump on my calendar, spend a few minutes, I'll ask you some questions and give you a bunch of advice that you can start using right away. Next, in terms of personalizing your marketing and your lead magnets and ultimately your delivery to the people that you serve, we should understand what our audience's preferences are. How do they like to consume content? When do they like to consume it? And what is their preferred modality for consuming content? They might like to read, or others might like to watch videos, or there might be a combination between the two. It's up to you to figure that out. Once you understand their preferences, then you can create content in that modality. Again, by way of example, my audience likes to consume videos. That's why I'm here on YouTube. That's why most of my mentorship happens in video, where we're looking at each other and talking to each other. Where other service providers or other consultants might have an audience that prefers to read or listen, so they could produce audio recordings or they could just produce written content. But I know my audience, and that's you, and you're here watching this because you prefer to learn via video. So I customize my delivery in that way using this modality. What I want you to understand is that when you use this approach of understanding behaviors, challenges, and preferences, you're able to dramatically increase the level that your audience feels you understand them. And what do most people want? They just want to be understood. So if your audience feels like you understand them, that's going to increase the chances that you can convert a prospect to a lead and a lead to a client. And I'd like to share with you some advice on how you can collect information about your audience's behaviors, their challenges, and their preferences. I'll get to that in just a second. If you're curious about how you can attract more clients from the internet and you'd like to explore what it's like to be mentored by me in doing so, well, I've got a link right here. It's my calendar link. You just jump jump on my calendar. I'm going to give you a ton of things that you can do right away anyway, but I'll also tell you what it's like to be a mentor by me. If that's something that's intriguing to you, just hop on that link and schedule a time for us to meet. Here are 3 things that you can start doing right now to collect the information you need to personalize your marketing. The first thing that I want you to do is consider looking into the analytics of all of your social platforms. Every social site that you're on, from Facebook to LinkedIn, TikTok to YouTube, has analytics. You can look into those analytics and gain deep insights into your audience's behaviors, challenges, and preferences. The next place that you can look is in your customer feedback. Every time you have a customer or a client, you should be collecting feedback from them, not only about your service, but how they came into your service. That's going to give you a tremendous amount of information about their behavior, the challenges they were facing, and what they preferred as they were going from being a lead to a client. You should also be taking a tremendous amount of notes on every sales call that you have. In your sales calls, there are golden nuggets of information, the things that your prospects and your leads are saying that are going to give you deep insight into their beliefs, into their behaviors, the challenges they're facing, and the preferences that they have. Once you start to see commonality from call to call to call, and you can actually predict what people are going to say, now you've got information that you can use to personalize your approach in your marketing.